Hello, dear friends, brothers, and sisters. This is the 16th episode that we are recording, and this episode is called Rocks and Absolute Happiness. So, when I use the term rocks, as I've discussed before, that if we can understand the open book of Mother Nature, because Mother Nature, has a lot of symbology and a lot of absolute hidden truths, which if we can actually access and they are available to everyone, then what we call as absolute happiness, which is a state of happiness without any personal desires or motivations, and which remains changelessly ever as it is, one can arrive at that state. So hence the title Rocks and Absolute Happiness. And we are actually experimenting and recording this on Zoom for the first time, so we see how it comes out. And I'd like to introduce my dear friend Rajiv Ji, who's a professor, in his professional life, and he's good at these Zoom and other things, So hello, Rajiv Ji, how are you?
Thank you, Anil sir. You didn't have to say so many words. I am grateful to you. Thank you. I appreciate your time, company, guidance, and insights. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Thank you. So, you see, I had traveled by a train from where I used to live to my place of work for nearly over 20 years. And we used to cross a bridge under which there is a river called the Gorges River. So I always used to look that there was a path, just next to that. And sometimes people will walk, and I had never actually walked on that. So when I had taken, part-time retirement, I had some time. So one day I went along this Gorges River. It's like a cliff walk. I reached that particular bridge. I crossed it, and then after crossing the bridge, interestingly, you see, it led into a forest in which there were a lot of trees, very tall trees. We'll show you some pictures in a minute. And I walked along that track for about 20 minutes. It led to a playground, and then it finished there. So I came back. Now, interestingly, as I was walking, you see, there was this single rock, just beside the path. And because, I have what you may call as a abnormal brain, with an awakened, Kundalini or cosmic currents, I communicate with nature, So when I was actually coming back, you see, something was communicating to me, and I just turned around, and it was actually this rock. So it said, where are you going? Come back here, I said, oh, okay, I'll come back. And then it said, sit down, So I sat on this rock. And then I had this most beautiful and wonderful communication with the rock. And this is what the rock was saying. It said to me, that, look, I know what my job is. I'm just alone, by this path. And, I hold this piece of the ground together, which roots and rocks usually do, right? But then it said that, look, what happens is that there are few days, when it is actually very cold and the temperature really falls, and the nights are even colder. And then some days are there, like in summer, it can hit about 36, 37 degrees. And about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it gets really very warm. The rock said it gets really heated up, And then you see there are days when there are storms, there is lightning and there's a lot of rain. Right, and sometimes it's very windy. We have got wind speeds up to 70 kilometers an hour. Right, and then it said then there are nights which are very calm, which are very beautiful. The moon is actually shining, and then there are days which are absolutely lovely. Very little wind and beautiful sunshine. And then it also said, sometimes the birds, they fly around and, their poo comes on me, and then it rains and that is washed. I clean up again, And then there are children, there are elderly people who walk by me, they come and rest on me. And then it said, it's quite interesting that, I go through all these different changing environmental circumstances and I am in peace with myself because I understand that is all that I can actually do. Sit here, do my job, and then I've got to go through all these aspects. But then he said, but Anil, you and your so-called brothers and sisters, you people are so evolved, you've got these 5 senses, you've got a brain, you have feelings, you have got thoughts. Then why can't you just be like I am? At least be, at peace with yourself. At least be at peace with this world, right? And this was actually quite a beautiful communication. You see that just the rock is telling us that how can we actually be in that state of absolute happiness or unconditional happiness. Before I go any further, one more thing I'd like to actually tell you that this rock was absolutely beautiful, It was just a piece of glorious nature actually to look at the many curves that it had, how many years it must have taken to shape that. So I'll request Rajivji just to show us some of the surroundings, and actually there are 2 pictures of the rock. Rajivji, can you please bring them on the screen? So this is the first picture of the rock. Look at it, how beautiful the curves are, you see. Yeah, the next one, Rajivji.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so please work your way to the second one. And this is the pathway which is there, where I had gone for a walk with my grandkids. Took the photograph recently. Yes, the other pictures, Rajivji, can
sure,
we
sir.
flick them on the screen, please?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so here we go. This is another picture of that area. As you can see, the trees are so green, so peaceful, so beautiful. Yes, next one, Rajivji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So here Rajivji is looking for the picture, and here this is the second picture of that rock. Just look at it, how sublime, how beautiful, how peaceful it is, you see. And we can see relatively that what is absolute happiness. It is not conditioned by any of our personal desires. Is there another one? Any other?
Yes, please. There's one more
picture
please.
left? Yeah, okay, sure. Let's put up last one as well, Rajivji.
Yeah,
so
this is the one.
This is the last picture. This is the pathway which is actually leading to the rock. So this was the little story of this particular rock. We'll come back now, Rajivji, on the
sure, sir. Sure.
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now let's just continue a little bit more with rocks. You see, when you walk along the seaside, you will find innumerable rocks are lining the coastal shore. Is that right, Rajivji?
Absolutely, sir.
You must have also been to, the seaside for holidays, and you see these beautiful rocks lining along the coastal line, right?
You are describing well, sir. I stand by you, and the nature is beautiful in its own complete right. Thank you.
Yeah. So you see, what are these rocks actually teaching us? You see, what happens is that actually you can even look at the cycle of reincarnation through these rocks. What happens is that you see, over centuries, the wind is hitting against these rocks on the shoreline. And you know how the waves, they come and hit and then go back, come and hit and again go back. So these rocks have been shaped over many centuries and they look very beautiful. When I used to go out with my parents, with my grandkids, some look like a tortoise, some are looking like a crocodile, but they are absolute beautiful pieces of sculpture. So you see, just like this rock is shaped over many centuries by the rough winds and the rough seas and the waves, hitting against them, similarly, every time when you and me, we are born in this physical form, we go through a lifetime, we go through our destiny, we go through things which are undesirable to us, and that is basically how our character is shaped, right? That is how we actually learn. Every life we come, we improve, we pick up actually some good habits, and not taking that we do pick up some bad habits as well. But eventually, you see, a day comes when you see you have become so perfect in your nature that you have united with what we call as the reality, or with what we call as the God, or we have actually united with our changeless higher nature, right? And that actually, and we become so beautiful that you may become like sage Buddha, or sage Ramana, right? Or like Jesus Christ, or like my own Rishi Master Biansa Duno, and then probably you'll also be producing some beautiful videos like I'm trying to share with all of you. So you see how beautiful it is that what nature teaches us, and it's quite interesting. I just want to close on this, that when I had this experience with this particular rock, I was filled right up to here with unconditional love. And in the evening, I had this spiritual discussion with Rajiv Ji, and I still remember now. And I told him, actually, I said that, look, this rock actually has filled me with so much love that even after this beautiful spiritual discussion, I can only give you one drop of what this rock has actually given me. So I hope that we have exchanged some thoughts, some ideas, some views, and they will help you, in your passage or journey to absolute happiness. Thank you very much. We'll close this episode here. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you.